What's up, Blizzard Nation? Welcome back to Strictly Blizzness, episode 160. We have a special guest, as we're announcing, who presents the episode as well. Mickey and probably Kathy, I'm guessing.
Yeah, at some point.
Some point. So huge shout out to Edge VR, who will have to doctor this video, and Creative Edge and Cousins with promo code that must be used on online and not
Okay.
used in Arizona. So not a serious comment. But I had to email Cousins. Thanks, Jeff. And you think I'm going to say hi in Arizona? You got another thing coming.
Well, I figured he was trying. There isn't even a Cousins in Arizona, so
There's
there's
not.
that.
I had to ask what states they were in when I asked the question.
But we did want to clarify because sometimes that happens. I mean, we want to make sure that people realize you're ordering it online so that you can enter a promo code. You can't just walk in and say, hey, promo code.
Yep.
Anyway, all good.
Yes. Action-packed episode, and you're remote.
I am remote, and I'm at that place in Florida. It's called Orlando. Of course, one of my biggest, I guess, free time kind of things that I like to do is down here. But there's also business to be had down here. Wink, wink.
Nice.
You just never know what might happen. The IFL is always expanding. There's certain ownership down here that kind of, said they were done. And you just never know what might happen.
Right on.
I mean, you wouldn't mind spending a couple months out of the year in Florida, would you?
You're sending me to Florida? Wow. Wait, what? I don't know if I'm a tradable asset on the roster.
No, you're not tradable. You would be borrowed just to get things moving to the IFL, just to get them to the IFL way, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah, I mean, if someone's got it back home here, I'm sure I wouldn't mind.
There'd be plenty of Disney time at night and Universal time as well.
Nice.
But I digress. That's for another episode, a different day. Let's talk about some big news. By the time this airs, which will be our standard airtime on Wednesday, the IFL will have made a big announcement, and I just want to talk a little bit about that announcement. So this is one of those episodes where we are crossing our fingers that the announcement goes off when it's supposed to, because if it doesn't, then you heard it first here. You'll hear it first in.
But you have permission, which is not normal for us.
I do. So yeah, it wasn't like I just decided to leak it like someone else thought they did. Yeah. But we've had, and Ryan, you can even talk about this too. We've had issues over the years with YouTube as being our streaming partner, and that's what we're really going to talk about. So the big news that I wanted to announce like a long time ago was that the IFL will have its own network. So it's going to be iflnetwork.com. It's going to be released on Wednesday. It is a paid platform, which I'll let the IFL talk about all of that and how that all works and what the subscription is and all that good stuff. But I want to talk a little bit about why it was necessary. So those of you that have gone through the growing pains that we have gone through, and especially the last 5 years. I mean, mine and Ryan's favorite was the channel with a network that had that annoying background music whenever anything would go wrong, and it would just sit there and hang. What were they called?
I don't know what the background noise was.
They were so good. They were so good that I can't even remember their name.
First one? The first platform?
Yes.
Something sports. I don't remember. Is it? Yeah. Okay. I didn't know if you knew. Yeah. Yep.
It was that good. No, but we had all sorts of issues where people couldn't connect to the games. Then when they get there, they'd hang, and we just had a lot of issues. And then we went back to YouTube. And although YouTube for us, for the most part, worked pretty well, we had a lot of teams, especially if they were new to our league, that didn't understand that you can't have music playing in the background thing.
Sure.
And it happened to quite a few teams where if they wanted to televise the game later, or they were at an away watch party and then all of a sudden the stream cut out.
Yeah.
All sorts of issues with YouTube. So we've decided to go this route. And you naysayers out there, you're going to be naysayers no matter what. And you are who you are and you do what you do. So whatever. But really, we as a league, had constant issues with, if it was a well received game on YouTube, commercials would just break in. And sometimes they would break in at the most inopportune time when you're trying to watch the game. And now we'll have control over that. We won't get flagged because of music playing in the background and all those lovely sorts of things. We can also test it earlier in the day. So we would be able to test, we would just be able to test the connection, but we couldn't test like audio and video to make sure that what the broadcast was actually going to work. So now we'll be able to do that, which is a huge plus, because then, the idea is we don't want to have it be game time and you miss, like happened with us, right? I mean, there was audio where the first quarter, you can't hear Joey announcing anything. And it's total silence and it's just static basically because the audio wasn't working. We can also communicate directly with our audience. So right now we have no idea who's watching. It would say it records so many people, but we want to be able to reach out. So on the IFL network, each team will have its own tab, if you will, for content. So if you want to get real Blizzard content, if you want to get real Arizona content, not just hearsay kind of stuff, that's where it's going to be. And I just picked those two teams because I know we have Arizona fans and I know we have Green Bay fans. You other fans, I'm not leaving you out. So Quad City fans, you too will have a page, and you'll have a page, and you'll have a page, and you'll have a page. That's my Oprah.
Nice.
Because right now we're not getting any data out of YouTube, and we don't know that the data that we have, I mean, we've been promised things that we just haven't gotten. And this isn't meant to be about YouTube, it's meant to be about us. So it also opens up the door for sponsorships, right? I mean, Ryan, you know what it's like to sell stuff, right?
Yes.
From a sponsorship standpoint, if we have this going and we know what it's doing and we know how it functions, it's that much easier to sell sponsorships. The last thing you want to do is sell a sponsorship to then have whatever their ad is broken into by a commercial from YouTube. Correct. Right. It wouldn't be that great. It also opens us up for the national broadcasting contracts that are out there. We've looked at a few already, but there's, and we have sister teams. Well, I wouldn't call them sister teams, sister adjacent leagues, other indoor leagues that are doing different deals this year, and good for them. They want to go on different networks. That's great. All of us, if you go on a network, national broadcasting type network, you're going to pay. So at some point, they're paying somebody something. It's never free. Those of you out there that think, oh, they'll just carry you because it's a sport. Yeah, that doesn't work. Everybody has to pay nowadays. You pay to play. So I don't know. Do you have anything else to add with any of that?
I mean, I guess a couple questions if you can answer, and I may know the answer on some of them, right? So like when it comes to our view parties, each team will have the ability to air our own stuff, and it's all the more reason to come hang out with us at some of these locations too. Absolutely.
And that, there's just a better, and you said it, I've said it, control. There's a control that we have that we don't right now, and that's really what it's all about. So, we get to control our content is the high point of all of this. One of the things over the years that we're, as a league, especially in the last 5 years, COVID didn't help. So this was even pre-COVID. We were starting to standardize our presentations, standardize the hotels we use, standardize the look, standardize, the field that we play on. And now, as of this season, we have that. We have an Adidas deal, so we look consistent. We're not like other leagues out there that, you might not even see name tags on the back of their jerseys.
Right.
God only knows what kind of field they're playing on and what kind of arena they're playing in. Guys have their shirts rolled up, exposing their abs. Yay. Just doesn't, as much as I like looking at those abs, it's not something I need to see when I'm watching a football game, trying to get, into the game. So we've upgraded what we do, and we want it to be seen as such. So our production standards have changed. I mean, you remember the days when we'd watch various games and somebody had a score bug up here, somebody had a score bug down here, somebody had half a score bug on the screen.
Yeah. True.
Somebody had a score bug sponsored, somebody didn't.
Right.
And you see that across all of these leagues now, where, we're trying to get our production standards to a look, if you will. And that look means that we want all of them to look consistent. We're going to be adding chat features, so you'll be able to chat, and you'll even be able to clip highlights, which you can't really do very easily right now. You'll also be able to do video on demand, which we haven't been able to do with YouTube. And somebody will come back and say, oh, yeah, you can. No, you really can't. There's timing windows that you have to abide by with YouTube. And at the end of the day, it wasn't what we thought it would be. Sure. And like I said, we've upped our game. You'll also find exclusive content that you can't get anywhere else except for on the network. As the season progresses, I'm sure we'll be adding more, functionality. Right now, we're just trying to get everything up and running. There'll be all sorts of new things that we'll be adding, like being able to watch multiple games on one screen. Some other stuff I can't talk about yet. But we're giving you 30 days of a free trial. So yes, it's a paid platform. So that might be somebody's first question. Again, I'm going to let the IFL talk about all of that, because that's for them to announce, not me to announce, not anybody else to announce. It's for the IFL to announce. So you get 30 days free. So if you start it March 21st for the very first game that we have, it's going to expire, obviously, by April 31st. Which, is there an April 31st? No. Is there an April 21st? Yes. Anyway, you get my point. You get 30 days free, and then it will kick in, and we'll use a couple of Happy Meals. It might cost you, and I know Happy Meals are more expensive now, but we're not talking break the bank.
Sure.
So, and the postseason is not included in your subscription. There'll be a way to upgrade your subscription to get the postseason and the national art championship game, basically. So, I mean, if you want free, well, there's other leagues out there that you can go to. You can watch them and, watch the kind of fields they play on, watch what they do, comment about them, get back to them. I don't know the last time that you watched any of those other leagues, Ryan. Do you even take the time to watch them?
Rhymes with never.
Ever? Yeah, I mean, they've got some.
Never watched a different indoor game, period.
Yeah, I mean, some of them don't even have announcers. Some of them have their dasher pads hanging with no sponsorship on them. And that's really how we make money. They might not even have a score bug. You just know that they're playing. The guys might not have uniforms on, no back pads or nameplates or socks. I mean, it just looks like something backyard again, sure. I guess. So
what will maybe a question you can answer, what will become of the show that we're currently talking on today?
So the idea of this as well is to move it to that platform. So it'll be one of the special features that you get by being on that network. We're also developing a new coaches show that explains the game a little bit more. things of that nature. There'll be some more deep dive stuff that Todd's going to do. And the idea is that not every team has the ability to do a show like this or do a coach's show or do a play-by-play. They might have the talent to do it. They just haven't had a platform to do it on.
Sure.
So the idea is that now they will. And we just want to be consistent from team to team. Some teams will have more content than others. It's going to all be what they put into it is basically what it's going to be. But those that sign on with the Arizona Rattlers would be able to see our content. So it's not necessarily that you only get, you become a Blizzard fan only. No, you're an IFL fan and you can see all of the games across our network and across the breadth of our product. So I'm excited about it. I mean, to me, it really legitimizes, going back to what we've talked about before and why I was so excited when we found out about this last year. Once we partnered with the people that we're doing this with, it was really exciting to me, especially sitting on the executive committee and being an owner of the potential that we have with something like this. It just broadens the scope. It truly makes us be that premier league that's out there. One of the reasons why I'm in Florida, we have another league that's imploding again. I mean, they just can't seem to get it off the ground. And it's just unfortunate, but we called it. Everybody thinks there's so much money to be made in these leagues. And, one of the major contributors of the forum even said that his heart is broken that once again, the AFL isn't able to get off the ground, but, it's the structure. It's why the IFL has been successful. It's the structure of the league. It's what we do as owners to bond together. It's not just about football, guys. I'm sorry, but it's more than football. It has to be, because as we've said, how many times on this show, Ryan can sell out the seats in an arena every single game, and we still can't cover the cost of payroll, housing, food. The guys don't just get paid, and they don't get paid very much. That's been out there, but they do get housed for the season. If they would have to come into town and try to find apartments for 6 months, Ryan, you think they'd find any?
It's not possible.
We've been trying. It doesn't work.
6 months lease are not necessarily a thing anymore, and especially in Packertown in our world. So
yeah. So I mean, there's more to it than just the paycheck of the game. That's nominal. It's the housing, it's the experience, it's the healthcare. Even across our league, there's different healthcare products that are out there. We're very fortunate with the state of Wisconsin and how workers' comp works here. We're very fortunate to have a playing partner in Aurora for all of our medical needs, and that's surgeries as well as our trainer. So there's some great partnerships that we've established in Green Bay that, have helped us to keep that at a minimum. But we've seen it happen. I mean, we've seen it where workers' comp all of a sudden goes crazy, and we've had teams that have to bow out for a season or two, maybe perpetually, because they got hit with a couple $100,000 of workers' comp. So those of you that think it's just about what's on the field, it's way beyond that, way beyond that. And we could get into, I mean, heck, Ryan, how many things do we deal with within the season that have nothing to do with playing the game?
a few.
Yeah, some that we won't talk about on this show, but there's always some, well, I don't even want to use the word shenanigan because we use it in a positive way, but
Right.
There are things that happen off the field, sometimes with our players, sometimes with our coaches. You see it blow up in social media with other leagues all the time. There's been some unfortunate incidents that have even happened within our league, but those are the kinds of things that's notoriety that none of us need, basically. So that's what I had as far as big news for this episode. Obviously, we have a game coming up. We'll be back in the studio next week to kind of do a preempt of that Quad Cities game. We're knee deep in training camp right now.
Yep.
Have you been to any of the training camp sessions? I'm guessing
Nope.
you don't.
Correct.
I called you the other day and it just seemed like Ryan was not even paying attention. I think he was doing 15 things at once trying to
There is
catch up
no
on the day.
Dana, only Zool right now. I don't. We've dealt with stuff in our time together. This one's different. This is a
Yeah.
lot at once. I don't know if we'll ever run our big three themes in 15 days again.
Well, and I mean, we could have switched them around, but unfortunately, our big themes have to do with schools. And if
Yeah,
schools are out, how do you coordinate getting the kids there? You know,
we
we are,
literally have four games that are in the school this year because that May 30th, a lot of schools are out already, which is weird. I guess I was never done that early when I went to school, but
yeah, well, either they're already done or they're fixing to be done and they don't want to have any kind of field trip or,
yeah.
you know, promoting anything else that's outside of school. So I get it. And that's why we always have vowed, you know, we try to do and vow to take the February, March, April as our big push, but that just doesn't happen right now. So,
No, haven't been
but
out training camp. But everything looks cool. Ben's been out there nonstop. Ben's been busting his butt on all the things that no one would have any idea. So I do want to give a shout out there, and he will watch this because he literally watches everyone and captions them. But what a steal when we brought him on board from intern to now. He is literally working on their website transition. While I'll let you talk about literally doing social media, covering training camp, giving everything the IFL they need for all the IFL required stuff. He is a machine right now.
he really is. The guy's going to need a break once the season starts. I
Not
mean,
possible, but that was a good thought.
okay, once the season's over, he gets to take a month off
Sure,
because
sure.
he's been
Ben,
nonstop. How's
Ben, it's
that?
literally recorded somewhere. You can hold it to that.
Guy just needs to go on vacation. Um, but yeah, there's just a lot going on. I do want to touch on the website.
Yep.
So we are transitioning over as we've announced on this show. And you know, anytime you move a website, I don't care how much you've prepared, and we were prepared. There's little idiosyncrasies that go when you take it from one platform to another. You switch the DNS, it doesn't come through 100%. So there's some things that all of us as IFL teams are going to have to adjust and work through. Ours came over pretty clean. We're just cleaning up a few things here and there, but we have it backed up, and we just have to get some credentials in place, and life will be good. You know, some of the other IFL teams aren't in as where we are at. You know, not all of us have people that can concentrate on our websites. Not all of us have the kind of expertise that Ben has. So again, shout out to Ben because he's been really holding down the fort, especially in this transition to the website. And he wanted to learn. He's
Yeah.
like,
He
oh, I
didn't
just
know
want
it
to learn it.
actually. Yeah, he didn't know any of it. He's
Yeah.
just gamer, smart, techy, like which was cool. He literally, yeah, that was really neat to watch. So he
It was
doesn't
cool
take
to watch them unfold.
compliments well either. He is a lot like Joe actually, where it would take an act of God to rattle him, and he is just cool, calm, and collected most days. So
Yeah, and that's great. That's a great asset to our organization, and just to have somebody that can be that way when you're methodically trying to change something
yeah,
over, because I'm sure there's people in this league that are freaking out, you know, when one little thing goes wrong, and he's like, "Nope, I'll just dig into it." And he
yeah,
just
I
kind of gave us,
literally had said, "You have Gary as an asset. I can't help you," and I mean that politely. Not I won't help you. I can't, right? But and he has been awesome. So yeah,
yeah, and Gary has been available, but our team, and I'm not going to give their name yet, who we're working with, because I don't need anybody bashing anybody else these days. But you know, they are a great team to work with. They've got all of our websites to get up in a short period of time. We've moved away from Sidearm. We did a small extension because some people needed more time, but all in all, it's going to be a great product, and it links us all in a way that's different. It gave us back control where when we originally went to Sidearm, because of how the business department was structured at that time, um, when you went to our website, it looked like an IFL website, where now it looks like the Blizzard website, who is part of the IFL. So there's still IFL content, but the IFL has their own page with their own, layout of all of the games. We don't need to do that on our website. Our games are what we're worried about.
Yep.
So all good stuff coming down the pipeline. And again, just working on the overall content, the overall look, because at the end of the day, we want to be a successful league. We want to add more teams in 26, which we're working on. And in doing that, we have to show consistency. We need to show consistency of ownership. We need to see consistency of product on and off the field. And this is just, again, one of those ways to make us look like a unified group.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm very proud of how the IFL works and how this ownership group works together, because we've said it before, when we're on the field, it's competition, right? I mean, you're happy when it comes to the end for whoever it is goes to the final dance. You're not like gleeful, but you're happy for them, right? Because they worked hard, so you get it. And I just for me, it's exciting to be kicking off another season. I know you're really worn out right now, and 3 games in 14 days and 15 days. I don't even know how that's possible. It's a Friday night game.
Yeah, everybody that you tell that, you're like, it's not possible. It actually is. It's Friday to Sunday to Friday, and it's Sunday to Friday that is where the cut short is. So yeah,
right. So
we will be
yeah,
okay. Just
we
have
will be fine.
patience.
But let's talk a little bit about that first game, because this isn't the only place that people get their info, but we're going to have stuff on social media of kind of a little map of, hey, go this way, this is closed, don't even bother going here. If you thought you could park there, you can't. And be prepared ahead of time. Can we give them kind of lots that they can go to beyond our blue lot? Like, is the bar open for parking?
Yeah,
Do you know?
we'll share what partners as we get closer here, and we're working on that. That'll be out as soon as we know and where we can recommend, and road closures will be easy. It's only really affecting coming from the, like, this isn't classified, like everybody's seen drawings on other sites and stuff now. Like the Oneida side is where the mess really is. So use that to your advantage, if you will, right now. We'll unpack what that actually means later, but yes, yeah,
Yeah. So when we say Oneida, from
the Lambeau
that's
side.
from both from Lombardi as well as the street that's over by the BP. You can't come that way all the way down to Armed Forces. You just
Right.
won't be able to, because the Packer parking lot is really where that starts, right?
Yep.
That's where the
Yeah.
shutdown starts.
That's where you'll start seeing construction soon. So, yeah.
Yeah. So it'll show up long before the 28th, which is when our game is.
Yep.
So just make sure you're coming in. You can take Lombardi down to Holmgren and come in that way onto Armed Forces, and then park in the blue lot if you have a blue lot pass. If you don't, you will not be able to park in there.
Unless you're
So
like one of the first X people, and I don't know that number. So,
I don't,
yeah.
yeah, and I don't even know if they're, well, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what they do. What else do we have? Because I think with those, if you're a pass holder, you can park further up in the lot, and they're going to have non-pass holders that come right at the beginning. They're going to shift them back. So we'll just see, because they have to have room for all of our blue lot people.
Yeah, they have an accurate count of how many passes are out. So they're like, if you have a parking pass, you're set in the blue lot. So yeah.
Right. And hopefully they, make, and they do, they have people that are telling you, no, you got to go down further or what have you.
Right.
Okay. What else you got for the first game? Any new merch?
All the new merch will be out in 4 years since we started Strictly Blizzness. We haven't ever upgraded to the pro version of Zoom, so we're at a 5-minute warning. um, but yeah, new merch will be at the game. It'll be on the site soon. Just really busy with schools and stuff right now, so it's coming. Otherwise, come to the first game. There's your answer if you want new stuff right now. So
There you go.
the first game.
Well, we should have had me book the meeting, because I have the pro version.
Sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. I think we've covered everything we talked about. We wanted to talk about.
I did want to bring up March 21st, though, away game view party at the bar, bash at the bar. It'll be awesome. Nap and I walked it yesterday. It's actually in the pickleball court room with the huge TV. It'll be the biggest view screen we've ever watched an away game on. So if you are in town and don't want to burn your 30-day free trial because there's 3 home games after that, look at that, Matt. You should come out to the bar because the screen is awesome. They're excited to have us. I hope a mix of our view games end up over the years and seasons. And this season, I'm really excited. Like it's on the huge screen in the pickleball court area. So
That's really cool. But there'll be no pickleball going on
correct.
during.
No pickleball while watching the game.
Yeah, no.
Yep.
And you bring up a great point. Don't start your membership until after our 3 home games, because then that even gets you come to the games instead, come to those first 3, and then go with your 30-day trial.
Right.
That gets you at that much further into the season. Those would all be away games, but they're going to be some really good away games.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you might even, I don't know without looking, and I'm not going to waste our poorly timed Zoom on my part to do it, but I think you might be able to start it later than that because I think we're on a bye week before we hit the double away games. So, yep.
Yeah, all good stuff. All right. Well, we'll be back in the studio next week. I don't know what we're going to talk about next week, but we'll see.
Plenty.
Yeah. Let's hit them with it.
Go. I'm not sure that was right.
Don't forget to like, follow,
subscribe,
share,
and ring that notification bell to get all of our content in your inbox.
So how are we?
I don't know. Which way did I just go on your screen? The right way?
You went, well, you went to like over, now you're over your Blizzness shoulder. Yeah.
Okay.
So the other way was to your right.
We'll do
So
it both. We'll do one way this way and one that way and hope he edits.
And then he can use whichever one. All right. So
should we hit him with it part 1?
let's hit him with it.
Go. I'm not sure that was the right way. Should we hit him with it part 2? Go Blizz. Wait.
Now we're both doing the same thing.
Wait,
right.
I gotta go this way. I gotta go this way. Wait,
okay.
Yes. Okay.
I don't know.
Should we hit him with it?
Go Blizz.
No, that's hit him with it.
Okay.
Should we hit him with it?
Let's hit him with it.
Go Blizz.
Go Blizz.